5 years ahead of its 2030 target. With a total installed electricity capacity of 484.8 GW, 242.8 GW now comes from clean sources, including renewables, large hydropower, and nuclear. This accelerated shift results from ambitious policy initiatives like PM Kusum and major investments in renewable technologies, positioning India as a climate leader and reinforcing commitments under the Paris Agreement for sustainable and self-reliant growth. India's retail inflation, as measured by the Consumer Price Index, CPI, fell to a 6-year low of 2.10% in June 2025, primarily due to easing food prices and positive base effects. Both rural and urban regions recorded substantial decreases, with food inflation in negative territory. Factors such as falling prices in vegetables, pulses, and dairy products led to this notable decrease. The record low inflation provides monetary policy flexibility and can support broader economic growth plans by keeping borrowing costs lower. GLP-1 drugs, initially introduced for diabetes treatment, are now revolutionizing obesity management in India. Drugs like semaglutide and liraglutide help regulate appetite and promote weight loss, making them popular among Indians over 45. However, high costs and the injectable format limit access for many patients. Experts caution these medications should only be used under medical supervision, combined with healthy lifestyle changes to avoid severe side effects. Recent launches and the anticipated arrival of novel, more user-friendly formulations are shaping India's public health approach to lifestyle diseases. India recently updated sulfur dioxide, SO2, emission norms for coal-based thermal power plants. While some requirements have been relaxed for plants located far from cities and critically polluted areas, stricter curbs remain for those near major urban centers. The government frames this as a pragmatic and evidence-based shift, tailoring regulation to air quality data and emission trends. This move aims to balance energy needs, compliance costs, and public health priorities, triggering debates about long-term sustainability and environmental safeguards. India has surged into the world's top 10 global tourism economies, ranking 8th according to the World Travel and Tourism Council. Recovering quickly post-pandemic, India's tourism sector contributed 6.6% to GDP in 2024, with international tourist spending surpassing pre-pandemic levels. Domestic tourism also saw a major boost, with expenditure rising by 22% compared to 2019. The sector's rapid growth is attributed to improved infrastructure, diverse attractions, and strong government backing, positioning tourism as a major driver for economic and job growth in the coming decade. India actively participates in numerous annual joint military exercises, such as Desert Hunt with its own services, Bonosagar with Bangladesh, Varuna with France, Sea Dragon with Quad partners, and Talisman Sabre with the US and Australia. These exercises enhance tactical skills, facilitate knowledge exchange, and build robust strategic alliances. Through such engagements, India strengthens its security architecture, hones disaster response mechanisms, and affirms its role as a responsible regional and global actor. The Supreme Court has taken critical steps towards regulating divisive and explicit content on social media platforms. Emphasizing the need for self-restraint, the court highlighted the risk of hate speech, fracturing national unity, and recommended awareness campaigns and social movements. While addressing fundamental rights, the court warned that failure to control egregious speech could compel state intervention, affecting the legal landscape for digital platforms and users. It stopped short of advocating censorship but called for stronger responsibility and self-regulation amid rising concerns about online discourse. The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine has wide-reaching economic and geopolitical impacts on India. Energy prices, particularly crude oil, have soared, affecting domestic inflation and increasing operational costs across sectors. Thousands of Indian students faced evacuation crises in Ukraine. The conflict challenges India's foreign policy balance between its strategic relations with Russia, the US, and Europe. Indian businesses have had to adapt by sourcing inputs domestically and diversifying export markets due to global supply chain disruptions. Recent NCERT school surveys have shed light on critical issues in India's education sector, including infrastructure gaps, digital access disparities, and the effectiveness of various government schemes. The findings prompted reviews of curricular content, teaching methodologies, and the role of technology in classrooms. The surveys are instrumental for policymakers in aligning reforms with ground realities and in focusing on inclusive and quality education, all central to national development goals and the Sustainable Development Agenda. The Great Nicobar Project and other eco-sensitive zone initiatives reflect India's evolving strategy towards balancing development with environmental protection. The government's focus is on sustainable infrastructure, biodiversity preservation, and strategic interests, especially in islands and border regions. These projects often prompt debates on displacement, ecological fragility, and long-term economic gain versus environmental loss. The decisions made in such cases set important precedents for future environmental governance. India and ASEAN have deepened their comprehensive strategic partnership in recent years, focusing on enhanced trade, digital cooperation, defense dialogues, and maritime security. Key initiatives also center on sustainable development, climate resilience, and digital connectivity. This strengthened partnership